From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings, LALATE.
A new day is upon us, and certainly a $1,400 third stimulus check also brings us great news to start our Friday morning. Great news as a series of messages are exchanged between Social Security and Treasury. Those series of messages suggest that stimulus is on its way and it's coming. And the message suggests that there was a lapse of information and that the lapse of information has now been corrected. And in fact, the series of messages from Social Security now suggests that the stimulus checks may have already been sent. If you read one of the letters, it actually suggests that maybe things are in past tense. Is this actually true? As we go into a new morning, there's exciting news across the board, as $1,400 third stimulus checks could get a third wave. Is that third wave upon us? And is that third wave actually today? And would we find out tomorrow if that third wave has already started? It's a big morning with a lot of exciting great news. I'm so excited for you as a new day's upon us, and let's get ready to rock and roll as Mornings LA gets underway, starting right now. What a big morning it is, as $14 third stimulus checks could be landing in your bank account in the next few days, as finally a push to fix things may be happening. Really exciting, great news. I have all the email exchanges and all the new messages. The toast is toasting, the coffee is brewing. I'm here, you're here, and it's a great day. I have new video from the White House. I have new video from Dr. Fauci, and I have all the breaking news from Wall Street to Main Street happening right now. So glad you're here. Let's get ready to rock and roll. Good morning. How are you? How's your Friday day? You ready to kick it? Let's do it. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. If you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. The great exciting news to start your Friday morning is that the data for 30 million Americans on Social Security and SSI and SSDI and VA and RB benefits was delivered yesterday at 8:30 a.m., about 24 hours ago yesterday. But a series of new documents obtained by LALATE this morning suggest past tense about stimulus checks going out. Wow, this is really exciting, great news. In those series of exchanges, it suggests that the fix is already underway. So is there going to be a third wave? And is that third wave going to land next Wednesday by direct deposit? And if it does, when would we find out? And when would the checks go out? I have all those details into today's video. So stay with me. There's a lot happening, and stay to the end because I just hope I get everything in this video. If you start the new day on a Friday, this is generally what the broadcast news reports are running as titles. This is what one broadcast news channel is running. 30 million people may receive $1,400 stimulus checks after Social Security Administration provides payment information to IRS. Okay, so the tense of the letter of the title is may receive. It sounds like it's forward tense, meaning it hasn't happened. Well, let me cut to the exchange of messages that started yesterday and continuing today. Let me see if I can grab one of the graphics to remove it so you can read it. There you go. I want to remove that graphic so you can actually read the details. So Wednesday, Treasury said this: for federal beneficiaries who did not file a 2019 or 2020 tax return, or did not use the non-filer filing tool, the IRS is working directly with the Social Security Administration, the Railroad Retirement Board, and the Veterans Administration to obtain updated 2020 information to assure as many people as possible are sent fast automatic payments, Treasury. Now, this is a very interesting statement for a lot of reasons, and you know what I'm about to say. This is not what Treasury said last year. Last year, Treasury said that you should not use the non-filer filing tool if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits and do not file tax returns, because we already know where you are. Remember all those recordings? Remember what the tool said? They said the tool should only be used by people on benefits under two circumstances. One, you have a child, because they were worried they wouldn't know about the child because you don't file tax returns. Or two, you newly went on benefits in the year 2020. Remember those guidance? It was posted on their website. They said, don't use the tool because we know where you are. Now that message says, well, if you didn't use the tool, maybe that might have been the issue. Drop in the comment right now if you used the tool in 2020. And I'm going to be in the live chat in the video right after this and interacting with you. Because this using the tool or not using the tool from 2020 is now part of the discussion of the narrative. Let's see what else they said in their exchange of words obtained by LALATE today. The second message is this one. Social Security employees have literally worked day and night with IRS staff to ensure that the electronic files of Social Security and SSI recipients are complete, accurate, and ready to be issue payments. Ready to be used to issue payments. That was Thursday. Social Security Administrator Commissioner Andrew Saul. Now look at the tense of the verb in that sentence. So that it is ready to be used to issue payments. It sounds like he's ready to have the payment sent out. Who is Commissioner Andrew Saul? This is Commissioner Andrew Saul. This is the person who wrote that message yesterday. So then what happened after that message? Well, there was this message as well. And this one heated up earlier in the week. Before the controversy brewed, Representative Bill Prashel, a Democrat from New Jersey, wrote on Twitter, or tweeted, "We're demanding immediate answers from the IRS and Social Security Administration why they are so darn long sending out stimulus payments to so many Social Security, SSI, and VA recipients. The money needs to go out now," and now is in large quotes. And then came this, late yesterday and early today. Commissioner Saul said this: "Once we were free to move forward, we aggressively worked with Treasury and IRS to issue payments." Okay, so the verb tense there is past tense. This is huge, great news. With 8 minutes of this recording, I got a lot more still coming. So you see how the bombshells are hitting very early on in this channel to this morning. It's only, only 9:20 on the West Coast? If you've not subscribed, you may want to subscribe today, because there's bombshells hitting like this throughout the day. This is Commissioner Saul from Social Security, and his message, this is who he is. This is Commissioner Saul, and his message is the following: "Once we were," past tense, "free to move forward, we aggressively worked," past tense, "with Treasury and IRS to issue payments." That's 3 past tense verbs in that sentence. If you like the English language, then it sounds like he has issued payments. Not him, but Treasury. So this is huge, huge, great news. So what does this mean? I got a couple comments. Of course I have a couple comments. First, does this mean that the third wave of stimulus checks is upon us? Well, let's recap. The first wave of stimulus checks were sent out 2 weeks ago today and landed on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. The second wave of stimulus checks went out a week ago today and landed this last Wednesday, March 24th. So if there was a third wave, is the third wave going to go out today so they land by direct deposit next Wednesday? This is getting exciting. This is getting very, very exciting. When would Treasury tell us if a third wave of stimulus checks went out for direct deposit today for next Wednesday? Likely this coming Monday, because that's what they did this week. They told you, they did it on a Friday, and they told you after the weekend was over the following Monday. So if there is a third wave for stimulus checks out for direct deposit today, that third wave may be officially announced Monday, and may officially drop on Wednesday. But how will we, the viewers of this channel, perhaps find out before then? I have that detail coming up for you in a second. Stay with me. I told you I have a lot of stuff on this video. So stay with me. Meantime, the president has not given clarity about how many stimulus checks are missing, and I have a lot more to say about this count of how many checks are missing. But yesterday, the president said that millions of more checks are going are coming soon. He doesn't give how many days, and he doesn't say how many checks, but he does say millions. Let's listen into the president's message late yesterday during his first presidential press conference.
I also set a goal before I took office of getting a majority of schools in K through 8 fully open in the first 100 days. Now, thanks to the enormous amount of work done by our administration, educators, parents, local, state education officials, and leaders, recent Department of Education survey shows that nearly half of the K through 8 schools are open now full-time, 5 days a week for in-person learning. Not yet a majority, but we're really close, and I believe in the 35 days left to go, we'll meet that goal as well. As of yesterday, more than 100 million payments of $1,400 have gone into people's bank accounts. That's real money in people's pockets, bringing relief instantly almost. And millions more will be getting their money very soon.
And millions more will be getting their money very soon. Interesting remarks, because as you recall, if you've been staying with this channel over the last few days, there was that video from Janet Yellen that was posted by the White House earlier this week on March 24th, with 30 minutes left of the banking day on the East Coast. And her message was, within days or weeks, the rest of your stimulus checks would land. Now, what's interesting about her remark was that you don't have to do anything. It's automatic. We have your information on file. Now, ultimately, while we could sit back and argue whether Representative Neal's 2 letters yesterday, this is the second one, were accurate or inaccurate by saying that Treasury does or doesn't have the information on file, or needs to have it or doesn't have it, we can argue over that. The great news about what happened was that it made it front page news. It made the inability to provide stimulus checks to the American people front page news. And while some news reports may say that there are 30 million checks missing, and that 30 million checks need to be sent out, the viewers of this channel and I believe that it's far more than 30 million checks. How many checks do you think? Drop in the comments right now. Viewers yesterday said 40, 50, 60, upwards of 90 million more checks were missing, not 30 million. Why? Because this is what has happened so far. People on benefits don't have checks, and people not on benefits still don't have their checks. People who file tax returns have not got to their checks, and people who don't file tax returns haven't got to their checks. And people who may have used that filing tool, we will see how many of you got the checks and how many who used the non-filer filing tool last year. How many of those who used that tool last year have also not got to your stimulus check? So the universe of people who are missing stimulus checks is more than 30 million. But the great news as we go into the new morning is that there is a real suggestion that a third wave of stimulus checks are coming. And that third wave could have them going out today. How will we know if they're going out this today to land on next Wednesday by direct deposit? I'll tell you, but first, here's a commercial break. Be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now as a big day is upon us, and $1,400 third stimulus checks could land this weekend. How are you? It's a big day with exciting, great news across the board. I'm very excited for you. And the great news as we start the new day is that $1,400 third stimulus checks could land in a third wave starting this week coming up. How will we know that? Well, first, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I don't want you to miss a single video of what's happening today. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. What's going on is that the third wave of stimulus checks went out, presumably, today. They could have presumably gone out today if that was when the third wave started. Why? Because the second wave was a week ago today, and the first wave was 2 weeks ago today. But how will we know whether there not was a third wave or not a third wave of stimulus checks that went out today? Well, Treasury will tell us coming Monday. But even before that, how else would we know? You would know by what happens with that IRS tool this weekend. That IRS tool this weekend may show updates to viewers because last Saturday was the big day in which it showed all those big updates. And that those big updates started with the surprising details that viewers were alerted that stimulus checks were on their way. How would that happen and what that would look like? I have all those details in a second. But first, let me explain what's going on with the White House. The White House has been really pushing the narrative for stimulus. And a new video released from the White House overnight suggests that it's so important to get that stimulus out the door. Let's listen into a little bit about that video before we analyze what could happen in that IRS tool tomorrow.
The economic crisis, we need to take care of that too. One of the biggest crises has always been the humanitarian food crisis. Food insecurity is having children, families, elderly, essential workers not having enough food to eat. We have 30 million adults, 12 million children, that they are food insecure. Mothers and fathers, even if they work, they don't have enough money to put the right quality, nutritious amount of food on the table. In this pandemic, I've been in many communities across the country. The forgotten neighborhoods, more often than not, are Latinos, Black Americans, Native Americans, that in this pandemic, they've suffered the most because when everything seems we're shutting down, those people were forgotten. That's something we cannot allow. With the initiatives of President Biden, we will make sure everybody has the basic needs of food covered. With the American Rescue Plan and the $12 billion that are going towards different programs to fight food insecurity, I know that we will move out of this humanitarian food crisis stronger. The most important thing of the American Rescue Plan is empathy. President Biden right now is going to be making sure that those minorities and every single American that is in need will receive the message of love, of dignity, that food will not be a problem. So you see, that's what the American Rescue Plan is doing. Let's put America at work at the same time that we are feeding America. We don't only fight hunger, but we also create jobs, let the economy grow. We keep moving America forward. So let's make sure that food is what will bring America together. I really admire President Biden for putting American Rescue Plan forward to bring food to every single American.
A great mess across the board about providing food during this pandemic. And I certainly have a personal message as well. When this pandemic first hit, and it hit Los Angeles in March of last year, a lot of restaurants, cafes, bistros that could have provided food to the communities kept their doors closed when they were still allowed to provide takeout. What did they do? They collected PPP money and didn't feed their community. So I'll forever remember those cafes that did stay out open and did provide food for takeout for people in need of food. And I'll also remember those that kept their doors closed to collect PPP money and not serve the community during those first few months when they could have provided takeout. Now, how do you know if that $1,400 stimulus check is coming in a third wave next week? Well, this is really exciting, great news. The way you're going to know that is because of what happens on Saturday. Boy, last Saturday, we thought it was going to be a boring day. We didn't think there was a lot going to happen. But last Saturday, the news hit. One viewer got an alert from Wells Fargo that direct deposit's happening, a big push on this coming Wednesday. Another viewer got a big announcement that it was coming also on Wednesday, and that one was from Chase. And then we saw the tools update themselves. The tools went from no information to suddenly information. What was the tool showing? The tools were showing a direct deposit or a mailed check. The tools had previously said either no information or had a St. Patrick's Day date, and they modified it to say no March 24th direct deposit or mailed check. If we see that change again this weekend, that could be the big shocker. And that's how we knew ahead of time that a wave had already happened. A week ago, tomorrow, last Saturday, viewers were on the channel and they said, oh my goodness, the tool has updated itself. I see all the deposits occurring next week. This was great news because finally we saw that the money was coming next week. And with that, we knew what was in store for us. We saw direct deposit and direct express announcements occurring, and we had similar announcements as well. People got direct express deposits exactly as they had gotten alerts about them. But that mailed check became a little bit confusing. Why was it confusing? Because in the corner of the check, it said a date, and viewers saw that date and thought, that's the date in which I'm getting the check. Nope, that's the date that's dated in the corner of the check. The day you're actually getting the check is not that date. The date that reflects, when it says mailed check, it has a date, that's not the date it's going out, and that's not the day it's coming. Rather, that is the date that is in the corner of the check. So when are you going to get the check? Well, if you go to that IRS tool this weekend and you get a date for a mail check, you're going to get the check about 2 days ahead of time. So it says March 31st. Well, the check date in the corner is March 31st. You're going to get the check the 30th, the 31st, or the 29th. It's as simple as that. And away we go. So tomorrow will be a very exciting day in which we will see whether or not this statement from IRS is in fact, from Social Security, is in fact a tip of what's to come. Once we were free to move forward, we aggressively worked with Treasury and IRS to issue payments. And that was the statement released by Saul, the Social Security Administrator. So if that is in fact true, perhaps there's a third wave underway. And if there is a third wave underway, when will we hear about that third wave? Presumably this coming Monday. And if that third wave is underway, then we may see the change to our iOS tool this weekend. In other news breaking today, there is new detail from Ford indicating that they will have to idle production of their popular F-150 truck because of product shortages. Meantime, that was Ford. Meantime, Microsoft is among the big tech companies like Snap making news today. Microsoft announced that it's buying messenger platform Discord for $10 billion. Elsewhere, will Chuck Schumer do the filibuster or not? Yesterday, the President of the United States asked for the filibuster to be instituted. You've seen Elizabeth Warren make a push for the filibuster as well. What I mean by filibuster, I mean eradicating the filibuster. Well, a series of new reports today, and especially a front page report on Politico, says that Chuck Schumer may not want to do the filibuster. Senator John Tester, Democrat of Montana, says, I don't think Schumer personally wants to challenge the rules, but we've never had a conversation about this. Meantime, Senator Mazie Hirono of Democrat of Hawaii says maybe he will. I think it's going to mean we're going to have to go and do a filibuster reform. The narrative of this is sort of mixed, however, because the President of the United States has said, I want to get the next stimulus package done bipartisan, and in the same breath, he says, I want to get rid of the filibuster. A little troubling, a little confusing. Well, the great news, if you go in the new day, is that the $1,400 third stimulus checks will be landing in your bank account, 30 million of them, in sometime in the next few days to weeks. But as we crash into the weekend, we may know that exact date starting tomorrow. If thousands of viewers' irs.gov tools start to update themselves tomorrow, we may see the indication that they're already on their way. Needless to say, they go out before we find that they've already gone out. We don't find out when they're about to go out. We find out when they already have been sent out. The toast has been toasted and this butter's been buttering, but some stimulus checks are missing. And while there may be more than 30 million checks that still have to be delivered, and while Representative Neal's letter may underestimate the magnitude of how many stimulus checks are missing, it's great news because it put the subject matter front page. It made it front page for broadcast news to start with a lead article saying 30 million checks are missing. Ultimately, there may be 40 million or 50 million, and the number of checks may far exceed the magnitude of the Neal letter. But at least for now, it is front page news. And when something like this goes front page, it helps the narrative. As Saul said, once we are free to move forward, we aggressively worked with Treasury and IRS to issue payments, says Saul. So will more people see that deposit occur, or will it occur with no prior alert? Remember, some viewers got the alert from Direct Express that said something along the lines of this, that a stimulus check is coming. Others didn't get that alert, but still got the deposit. The question is whether you will get the deposit without the alert or whether it will just simply come its way. It's a big morning, and if along the way something has gone wrong or technically a foul, I appreciate you for staying with me. Thank you for joining me on a big morning where a lot of things are happening. I didn't even have time to get to the fourth stimulus. I will in the next video. But thank you for joining me, and we're just getting underway. Mornings LA continues in about 5 minutes from now with another video. Stay with. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Don't miss a single day, minute across the board. There's so much happening today. Also, like this video. And if you're not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcium VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.